Hello and welcome. So in this tutorial we'll learn about the new motion mixer, which is a new feature added in Houdini 21, which allows you to manage multiple animation clips which you make using the scene animate nodes, and then you can manage them in multiple tracks and add effects and manage multiple characters and do anything which you do to finalize your animation project. So before we jump to Houdini, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it because that will be a big support to me. So now we can jump to Houdini, and over here, before we do anything in the network view, we should first optimize our UI for the motion mixer. So first we will add the motion mixer pane over here in the viewport pane below it. So to do that, over here in the this viewport pane on the top right, you can see this arrow button. You can click on that and split top bottom, and this will create another pane over here in the bottom of our viewport pane, and over here we can open the motion mixer. So click on this plus icon, new pane, tab type, animation, and then motion mixer, and then we can close the scene view. And you don't need to worry about this motion mixer yet. We'll talk about it in a minute. So we can get it below, and then what we can do is minimize these shelves and all of these menus, which we don't need this operational menu too. And then what we can do is toggle store bars. So what toggling of the store bar does is that all of these handles which you see for minimizing and maximizing a pane, it will hide that so that our UI is much clean. So to toggle that, you have to press Alt plus Control plus S. As you can see, Alt plus Control plus S, and to get back to the normal UI, you have to press that again, Alt plus Control plus S, and that will toggle it back. So we want to stay in that. And now, as you can see, our viewport and all the panes are have much more space. And now we can go on and create our animation clip. But what you can also do is you can go to this edit menu and preferences and general user interface. You have to go to that, and over here you can also make this play by UI, set it to compact. That will also make this play by UI smaller so that it is much more optimized. And when you set that, you have to restart Houdini to see it in effect. And you can also save this current desktop in a new desktop. So you have to save current desktop as, and then type a name and save it. So now we'll use Electra as our test geometry and add animation clips to that so that we can use it in the motion mixer. So drop down a geometry, and over here drop down Electra and set the output type to apex scene. So this will output a animatable apex scene. And what you will generally do is that you will drop down a scene animate node and then connect it to the first input and do the animations over here. But what we want to do right now is we want to create multiple animation clips for this single character. So that won't happen by default. You can't do this by default on this scene animate node. We have to do it by using nodes over here. So the first way to do this is we can add animations. You can add multiple scene animates. For example, we have this first one. We can name it to take one, and then we can do some simple animation over here. For example, just for example, we can key this cog and then keyframe it and then move it over here, and then on a frame, we have to do it in another frame and then key it over here and then move it around. And then what you will do to create the second animation is that you can duplicate this scene animate node, and that will automatically rename it to take two. So that is very easy. And then over here we can reset this and do another simple animation. So for example, we can this time move the leg, it, and another frame, we'll move it in this frame, for example over here. So when we add these animations, what happens is that if we toggle off the stove off for a moment and then go to rig tree, you can open it on this pen or any pen you want by clicking on this plus icon, new pen tab type, animation, and rig tree. So over here you will see the packed folder contents. So you can click on this. You will see that the folder contains a electra.char, which is the character itself. It has the base.shape, base.scale, and base.rig, which represents the rig and the shape and the skeleton. You also have the scene graph, and you have this animation. And if you toggle on this animation and see its contents, you will see that it has a default.clip. And this is the folder which contains the animations which you do over here. So currently it is named default.clip, and if you toggle this on too, you will see that it contains animation layers data, and also this electra.car-base, which is a group of channel primitives which represents animations. And we have it over here on this take two scene animate node, and we also have this on this scene animate one node which we created earlier. So what we want to do over here is we want to copy this default.clip which contains these animations to this take one node. So to do that, we have a node called apex scene copy animation. So the first input of this is the scene which you want to copy the animation to, and the second input is for the scene you want to copy the animation from. And you can set the display flag on it. And if you go to the parameter window, we have this from and to parameters. So this from parameter will represents the animation clip which you want to copy to this man scene. So it is indeed the default.clip animation slash default.clip, as you can see over here. If we go to the rig tree for this take two node, you'll see that over here we have this slash, and then over here we have this animation folder, and then again this forward slash, and then over here we have this default.clip which we are copying over here. So this is what we want to copy, and then we want to rename it to something like leg move, or we can name it just take two. And now if you look at the rig tree after clicking on this scene copy animation node, you can see that we don't have it over here. So it is probably not refreshed, so we can drop down a null over here and then connect it to the scene copy animation node, and you will see that over here we have this default.clip, and we also have this take two.clip. So this is the first way of doing it, but we also have another and better way to do this. So we can remove these. So the next way of making multiple animation clips for a single character is that adding multiple animation clips to it before and then using them all in a single scene animate node. So first we have to add the animation clips. So to do that, we will drop down a apex add animation, scene add animation, and then connect the first input to the first output of the electra. And then over here we can add a animation clip to the electra. So in the character you can select electra, and then for the animation clip you can set the clip name to, for example, let's say left, and then you will see that if you go to the rig tree, you will see that we have it doesn't update automatically, so we can drop down a null And then over here you will see that we have this left dot clip. So we can add another scene and add an animation and keep doing that until for each of and every animation clip which you want to add to your character. So we can add another one, scene add animation, and connect it to this. And then you can set again the character name to Electra and change this to, for example, jump. So we will add one another scene add animation node. Let's delete this null. We'll add and drag this to create a copy. And then let's name it. So this one adds left, and this one adds jump, and this one adds straight. And let's name this animation clip straight. And now we can just plug in a scene animate node. Animate. So on the scene animate node, now when you have multiple animation clips before it, if you check the rig tree, and you will see that we have this jump, left, and straight dot clip. So now we can switch to them in the scene animate node. And to do that, you have to create a animation layers pane. So over here, you can click on this plus icon, new pane tab type, animation and apex animation layers. And that will open this this pane. And over here, you don't need to worry about these animation layers and stuffs. If you want to learn about that, I have a tutorial about that. We just want to switch between the animation clips which we made over here. And you have a option for that over here. As you can see, we can switch between these clips, the animation clips. For example, if we want to add animation for the jump dot clip, you can set it to that. And now whichever animation you make over here or add the animation layers, it will be added only for this this clip. So for the jump clip, we can select the cog, the IK target and pole vector so that they don't get left behind. And then we can select all of these and also the leg IK and pole vector, these ones. And this also. And now we'll select the cog. And for all of these joints, we'll set a key over here on the first frame. And then we will, for example, this 10th frame, we'll set another keyframe for all of these joints, and then we will move it over here, for example, and then we can create another keyframe over here on the 18th frame for all of these joints, and then we can get this back over here. So it looks like this, and you don't need to make more keyframes or anything. We'll handle that in the motion mixer when we go to that. Now for the left and straight clips, we'll just move it to left and straight. So what we can do is over here, so for the left one, we can rotate this for 90 degrees. So if you want to rotate them in the global space and not local space, because they might have different local transformations, we will press Ctrl plus Shift, and that will make the transformations global space, and then we will rotate it, and then we will set a keyframe on the first frame, and on the 12th frame we'll set another keyframe and we will move it in the left direction. So we can press Ctrl plus Shift again, or if you don't do that, you will see that they go in different directions because they have different local transformations. So we can press Ctrl plus Shift to go in the global mode, and then we can move this. And remember that our left is the character's right, so it is in the correct direction. Now for the straight clip, we'll just move it in the straight direction. So we can set another keyframe over here and move it while pressing Ctrl plus Shift. And now you will see that we have all of the animation clips ready. For example, the jump clip does the jump, but only once, and the left clip goes left, and the straight clip goes straight. And the reason behind why I only did it for only once, for example, we only jump once and we only go for a little bit in the straight or left direction, because we will cycle it in the motion mixer so that it works. So now we can rename this scene animate to animations, and now we have the animation clips ready. So now we'll toggle the stove bars off by pressing L plus Control plus S, and now the stove bars are off. So now we can drop down the motion mixer node, and that will set up our character so that we can use it in the motion mixer pane. And as you can see already, our motion mixer pane is fully loaded, and we can make it bigger so that we can see it. You can drag this one over here and drag the parameter over here. So this is the motion mixer pane's UI. Over here you have the menu bar. Over here you have the hierarchy. Here you have the list of the animation clips which you have. As you can see, for the Electra we have the jump, left, rest and straight. This is the timeline, and this is for the information and options for the tracks and effects. And over here you have the parameter pane, and this contains all the parameter you have on this motion mixer node. If we go back to the non stove bars and then toggle that off after going to the parameter editor, you will see that if we click on this main root one, which represents the parameters for this mixer properties, you will see that we have the same parameters over here and over here. So you don't need to change anything on this motion mixer parameters over here. You can change all of that on the motion mixer UI. And on the timeline, you have the default track, and tracks are used to group the animation clips in the timeline. You will see that track created in this mixer menu. This is what you see over here. They are created, these tracks are created using this multi-palm, but you won't see the parameters for this in this motion mixer until you add an animation clip to this. So we can add an animation clip over here on the track, and as you can see, you can place these over here. You don't need multiple animation clips right now. We'll start with a single one, and to select that back and we can also move these on the timeline. And now if you play this, when for example if we set this animation clip to start from the 24th frame, and you can see that on which frame it is gonna start over here. And if we play this with the real-time toggle set to on, you'll see that when the frame 24 comes, it will start going straight. You can move this, and to move the timeline, you can use the middle mouse button. So you can click on middle mouse, and then you can move this. You can also zoom and unzoom using the right mouse button. So hold the right mouse button and then drag left or right. And you can scroll in the timeline using the scroll mouse wheel. And you can frame on the selected animation clip using the F button. To frame the entire timeline back, you can deselect that, and then you can press F again, and that will make the entire timeline visible. So now let's focus on this single animation clip, which is the left moving one. We can set it to start from the first frame. We can zoom a little bit so that we can see clearly. And if you click on it over here, or you can also click on it on the hierarchy view. As you can see on the track 0, we have this first clip. You can select that, and that will also select this one. And then you will see the parameters for this over here. So what we want to currently do is that if you play this animation, you will see that after the 12th frame, or on the 12th frame exactly, it jumps back to this first position. And we don't want to do that. What we want to do is to cycle this animation, and then so that this Electra goes straight in a long way. So as you can see, this is the left one. I thought that This is one is the straight one, so let's change it to the straight one. You can quickly do that over here. So you can change this to straight, and now this will go straight, as you can see. And there might be more frames after this, so we can just delete this and get this over here again, drag the straight one again over here, and we just have 12 frames in it. And what we want to do is that we want to extend this clip so that it uses the same animation and cycles it. And to do that, you have to drag it from the left or the right side. For example, we will do it from the right side, and you will see that it enlarges this. And these dark blue parts are the cycle parts. So if you now play this, you will see that it plays the same animation again and again. But what we want to do is that we want to make all the cycle clip have a start from the position in which the previous cycle clip was. And to do that, you have to click on that clip and then go to the cycle parameters in the parameter editor. And over here we have this cycle before and cycle after options. You can set the cycle after, for example, to hold, and that will just hold it, and then nothing will happen in this enlarged cycle frames. But we do want to cycle it after this, so we will set it to cycle. What we are interested in is that this offset option. It is currently set to automatic. So what we have to do over here is select a cycle joint which it will use to calculate the previous offset. So for example, we can select a joint over here, click on this arrow button and then select a joint, C, chest, control, or we can select the cog and click on accept. And now you will see that if we play it, it starts from where it leaves in the previous cycle phase. You can also set this offset option to manual so that you can and now you have to specify the offset which it will use over here. So it will start all of these cycle phases from that offset and then add up for the previous offsets. But the automatic one is easier and better, so we will use that. And if this rotation option is set to around up axis, it will only allow the rotations on the up axis or the y axis to be allowed for this cycle offsetting. It will not allow any other axis rotations, for example x axis rotations, to be followed in the cycle phases. And we can also change the speed of this clip by right clicking on this clip and then edit speed, and then you can change the speed over here, and this is the multiplier of that speed. For example, you can set it on 2 and that will increase the speed 2 times. And as you can see, now we have much more cycle phases fitting on this clip. And if you now play this, you will see that Electra goes much faster in the z-axis. And you can dynamically change this the length of this animation clip, and then it will only do that cycling for that amount of time, as you can see. And now we'll add this left clip so that this goes straight first, and then it will blend to that left position, and then that animation will start playing. So we can drag this left clip over here, and we can change the duration of this to something like 3 cycled phases. And then we can add this track over here starting from the 22th frame. And then if you play this, as you can see, when we when this straight animation clip ends, we blend into this left animation clip, and then it starts from the original pivot it has which is from the origin. But we don't want that, and we want it to start from here, where this animation clip ends. And to do that, we have to match the pivot using the bones. Over here you have this button to do that, this match joint button in the menu bar. So you can click on that, and this brings up this pane. Over here you can select a joint for a character. So for example, for Electra, we'll select the cog control, and then you can click on this match position or match orientation or this match all, and then and these matching buttons match this clip's pivot using the previous clip. So for this joint, on whichever position that joint is in the previous frame, it will set the pivot of this clip on that. And you can see the pivot position over here on the clip parameters. If you go below, you will see this transform. And as you can see, it is currently on the origin, and the rotation is default 2. You can also change it over here, but we will do it using this match joint so that it is correct. So we'll match the position right now, not match orientation. And as you can see, this transform of this pivot has changed. And now you will see that if I play this, it goes straight first, and then it correctly blends between in this empty field, and then it blends into this left position, and then it goes in left. And we can cycle this one too, so we can set the cycle joint to the cog, and then we can increase the the width of this. So you will see that it goes to straight for first, and then it goes to left. And by the way, if any operation in the motion mixer doesn't work at first, you can click on this refresh button over here, and that will make it work for most of the times. And the reason behind why I didn't match the orientation of that, because if we do that, then it will not go to the left side, but it will also make it straight, because we have selected the cog joint to do that. So it will try to match the previous position of that cog control. So we don't want to match orientation. Or you can also, and if that is not the case for you, you can also match all. That will also match position and the orientation. And you can also reset the matchings you did with just reset this transform parameters. And you can also change this pivot of a clip on the viewport using the handles the motion mixer provides. So if we go back to the stowbars mode, you will see that over here, when you have the show handle option enabled by pressing enter in the operation controls, you will see that we have a options to visualize the handle. And if you enable that, you will see that we have got a handle for this. For example, we can select this one or this one, and it will show the handle for that clip from where it starts. And if you move it, or if you move it for this straight one, you will see that the pivot for that clip changes, and you will also see that the transform parameter for this changes. So if we move this in the Z axis, as you can see, the Z value is changing. So we can set it to default again. We want the state one to start from the origin, and then we can toggle the stowbars back again. And for this blending, which happens in this empty field over here, you will have to give it a region in which it can blend. You will see that it gets very few time to blend into this position, and it just snaps into this position. So we don't want that, so we will keep a space between this. And what you can also do is move this clip inside this clip, and then it will blend in this region. So as you can see, Now it blends in between this region into this directly. So you can do this using this method too. But we want to use this simple method of having empty field in between these clips. And you can also change the options for this blending, which is in the transition menu of this of the clips. And for example, if we want to modify the transition properties for between these two clips, you have to click on this second clip and not the first clip, because the transition is happening for this one. And if you click on this transition menu, you have this mode option. So you can select from these three options. The first one is none, which makes it go into this left position directly after this first animation clip ends. As you can see, on the 18th frame, we directly go into this left pose. And if you set this to hold, then you will see that it holds until this blank space ends, and then it jumps back to this. It jumps to this left position. But we want to keep it on this blend mode. And you shouldn't think that this track blending option is for the this blending, this clip blending, because as the name says, it is for the track blendings which we haven't covered yet. So wait for it. Wait until we see this. And one another thing you can do is that you can visualize these clips in different ways using the operational options which the motion mixer gives you. So for example, we can go back to the stobar mode, and then over here in the selection visualization option, you can change this to hide or control shapes or skeleton or anything which you want. For example, if we set it to skeleton and then reset it and then select this again, you will see that we can now see the skeleton for this. You will see that even though it is only visible for the selected clip, that's why then this is named selection. And when the Electra goes from the straight animation to the left animation, it catches up to that. There are many other options for this. For example, the shaded one, you can select that, and then it will be shaded in the color of your animation clip. For example, you can set the color for this over here on the clip options. You can set the color over here, and we can change this to something like this. And as you can see, the color is changing for the clip over here on the track and also the character. And just like this, you can visualize it in many ways. So now what we can do is turn off this visualization, go back into this stobar off mode, and then let's get another straight clip, get it over here, and then we can set the cycle joint over here quickly, and then cycle it, and then we can match the joint, match position. You will see that it happens over here. We can turn off this handle visualization, and then you will see that it first goes to straight and then left and then straight again. And you can blend any animation clip like this on a single track.